I mean, so this order not only kills an act, but I think this order is a deterrent against the politics that was seeping into the Indian political culture. Isn't that so, Sunita?
Yeah, to some extent, I agree with you, because as long as the bulldozers were being used against the criminals, the established criminals, mafias like Atiq Ahmad or Mukhtar Ansari, I don't think so there was any hue and cry. Everybody thought, okay, even if there also there was a view that why punish the entire family for crime of one person, but still people thought it is all right. But once they started demolishing houses just because within, say, 2 or 3 days of a crime committed, without the crime is even established against the person, like it has happened in so many cases, and they demolish the house. The point is, before the conviction, if you demolish the house and then the charges are not proved, what do you do? And then home is not just, brick and mortar. Home is something which people make. Now the chief ministers or the BJP is of the view that it instills fear in the mind of criminals, but not all of them were criminals to that extent. Encroachments have been removed. Again, who's going to decide encroachments, and why officers, uh, if they allowed encroachments, people have been paying water tax, property tax for 25 years or 30 years, and then their houses are demolished because they were built on encroached land. What about the officers who allowed them to happen? So I think it's a very good order wherein I think due diligence will be taken before demolishing homes. And crime of one person, it could be first crime of a person got involved in a mob. Now, like in Beraich, it happened, it was a mob, and then in retaliation, there was firing. So, why should the entire, say, community or several homes get demolished? There are other punishments also. Put them in jail, whatever you want to do. And only by bulldozers can we instill fear in the mind of criminals. I think the rule of law is very strong. The only thing we need to do is we need to establish crimes, file charge sheets, and not delay them.
Just to you, point blank, on point. This was started under the dispensation of Yogi Adityanath, who continues as the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. This bulldozer action is part of a political narrative. Do you think, in a plain and simple language, it not only destroys that narrative, but also says that it was built on wrong legal practice?
Well, Karthikeya, it would definitely take away the sheen of the macho narrative, political narrative, which was
Macho narrative?
Macho narrative. But I would say that, it's der aaye durust aaye. But I would also go on to say that it's a sad reflection on all of it. The law enforcement agencies of the state, whichever state it was being practiced, the judiciary itself, and all more so people who thought that, this instant justice, 2 minutes noodle kind of a justice would impose fear in the mind of the criminal. It doesn't. It just doesn't. And what was found was that, it was used against one particular community in a much more, stronger way than it was used against the other particular community. It became highly politicized. And it was used to further your own political agenda, irrespective of the state where it was being practiced. The sorry state is that the courts also refused to listen to it. The courts also refused to listen to it. Otherwise, what we are hailing as a landmark judgment, what we are hailing as a big judgment by the Supreme Court, basically, Karthikeya, if you sum it up in one line, it is court asking the state to follow the municipal laws.